So we have the new S24 Ultra, the S23 Ultra, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Best quality you'll get when intelligent optimization is minimum. So as I showed you in the previous pictures, intelligent optimization is a problem. So to minimize it, you just go to settings, you go intelligent optimization and you put it to minimum. I wish there was an option to take it out totally so there is even lower processing going on, but there is no option. So this is the best we can to get the best quality. Settings I used for the S24 Ultra. Settings I used for the iPhone. Everything maximum. First set of picture 20% light, 12 megapixel versus 24. Then 50 megapixel versus 24 megapixel of the iPhone. And finally 200 megapixel versus 24 megapixel of the iPhone. And if you take a close look, 200 megapixel is the best. Second best is the iPhone's 24 megapixel. Third is 50 megapixel, and 12 megapixel is just terrible. Shouldn't be used. The wide angle is the same story. So it's only at 12 megapixel, so it's pretty bad. The iPhone's 24 megapixel wide angle is a bit better than the S24 Ultra. The 2x zoom of the iPhone's 24 megapixel is better than the 3x zoom 12 megapixel of the S24 Ultra. Also, the 5x zoom 24 megapixel of the iPhone is better than the 5x 12 megapixel zoom of the S24 Ultra. But if you use the 50 megapixel, even if you take the 1x picture and crop to match the 2x zoom of the iPhone's 24 megapixel at low light, it is superior than the iPhone's 2x zoom, even though it's 1x and cropped to fit or match. The S24 Ultra also have 5x at 50 megapixel, which you can see its higher details. You can clearly see all the ratings and everything. The color is a bit off though on this particular picture. It can take very good accurate color, but it became too yellow here. The iPhone is a bit too red, but it's definitely more off on the S24 Ultra's 50 megapixel 5x zoom. It goes back and forth. Last set of picture. This is the 48 megapixel raw of the iPhone against the 200 megapixel. The reason I didn't bring the 50 megapixel raw of the S24 Ultra because they're similar to the 50 megapixel JPEG as well. But definitely you can see the 200 megapixel even at low light. Even though the pixels are small, it suffers. Still it can capture tons of details. Let me go zoom into both the pictures to show you. And this gets even dramatic in daytime when there is sufficient light. That 200 megapixel becomes a beast. Next set of picture is gonna be typical indoor lighting, 30% light around, white light. And first picture is main shooter 12 megapixel of S24 Ultra versus iPhone's 24 megapixels main shooter. And as like the last picture, the 12 megapixel is not good enough. The 50 megapixel on the other hand is much better compared to the 12 megapixel, and definitely zoomed cropped in you can see the details, and 200 megapixel even better than the 50 megapixel even at low light. How about 10 plus x zoom? Let's say if you go 15x, 25x, this is 25x, which is available on the 12 megapixel mode on the S24 Ultra. And so this is the details comparison, definitely way better than the iPhone's 25x zoom even at low light. And this is available only when you're at the 12 megapixel mode. The 50 megapixel will go maximum to 10x. Low light portrait 1x on both phones. Then 2x on the iPhone, 2x on S24, 2x and 3x. iPhone don't have 3x, and 5x on both. Now on this one, iPhone like focused on the 2 ears, whereas the Galaxy focused more on the lower side, the chin part. You can see the writing, so their focus was totally different from each other. This is a front camera, and you can see the iPhone took a bit more details than the S24 Ultra. The S24 Ultra is a bit softer. I would prefer the iPhone to be a little less sharpened, whereas the Galaxy to capture more details. They used to have the 40 megapixel front camera on S21 Ultra or S20 Ultra, which Samsung took out and replaced with the 12 megapixel. But megapixel does matter. It like if you're looking into pure details, it does give you more details with higher megapixel. Front facing video, same issue. iPhone a bit extra sharpened, and S24 a bit softer. Video for back camera at different zoom levels. At this light level, the S24 was much better than the iPhone. They are both 4K 60 frames per second. The story totally changed during low light, warm light, only 20% really low light, and iPhone took the better 4K 60 frames per second. Now it's morning, and the first picture is 12 megapixel versus iPhone's 24 megapixel, and then 50 megapixel against iPhone's 24 megapixel. And finally, we have the 200 megapixel against iPhone's 24 megapixel. Now up close, 90% crop. This is the quality. 200 megapixel is again the best, and you can see the color of the wheel, the spoke, the rotten trees, everything is there. Second best 50 megapixel, and third the iPhone, and fourth the 12 megapixel. This is an early morning video of the iPhone, and it looks like almost it was taken in bright day, but there wasn't enough light, so we can see a aggressive high dynamic range being pushed, and the color, I would say it would be a bit between the two, the S24 Ultra and the iPhone, between the two. But yeah, for sure, the brightness, the dynamic range, it has been heavily pushed. And I'm gonna show you guys one frame of a 8K footage compared to one frame of a 4K footage cropped in, to show you the details difference between 8K and the 4K of the iPhone against the 8K of the Galaxy S24 Ultra. On the left, we have the iPhone 15 Pro's 4K 60 frames, one frame taken out. And on the right, we have the 8K 30 frames of the S24 Ultra, and you can clearly see. So people lie that the difference, or some even show that the 4K is better than the 8K. It is not true, guys. 8K is definitely much better, much superior to the 4K of the iPhone or the S24 Ultra itself. It's just you need a 8K system to see the full details of the 8K. Those people, they're using MacBook Pros, right? And MacBook Pro, there is none in the market that have a 8K capability, or a MacBook Pro that can that have a display that is 8K. Not yet in the market. The reason I am not uploading a 8K included in this video, because this video will be uploaded in 4K. My computer is full 8K. It's just you won't be able to see that details difference in a 4K system. You need the 8K system to actually see the details difference. Daytime zoom, still in the morning. I would say morning and evening would have the same light level. On the left, we have the iPhone 15's 24 megapixel 2x zoom. On the right, we have 12 megapixel 3x zoom of the S24 Ultra, and as before, the 12 megapixel is not good enough to the 2x zoom of the iPhone. And as before, if you crop 1x the regular photo 50 megapixel of the S24 Ultra and crop it to match the 2x zoom of the iPhone, they will be similar quality. Now it's the regular 5x 12 megapixel of S24 and iPhone 24 megapixel 5x. And 5x 50 megapixel of the S24 Ultra against the 5x of the iPhone, and now you can see quality difference. And finally 25x on iPhone 15 and S24 Ultra. S24 Ultra, it is only available on the 12 megapixel. S24 Ultra will have better quality after 10x zoom, where a third optical lens kicks in. So 10x zoom and onward up till 25, it will be better on the S24 Ultra compared to the iPhone. Next pictures will be bright daylight, 80 to 100% light level. And first picture is between 24 megapixel of the iPhone versus 50 megapixel of the S24 Ultra. If I crop to 95%, I can see more details on the brick. The writing is more visible, and also on the back, the snow, the glitters are there as well. On the S24 Ultra's 50 megapixel, whereas the details is less on the iPhone's 24 megapixel, which is expected because it's 24 megapixel. At 98% crop, you can see this even more the details difference between the two. I switched the raw 48 megapixel iPhone at 98% crop, and the details is definitely better than the 24 megapixel of the iPhone. The 48 megapixel takes more details, but still less than the 50 megapixel of the S24 Ultra. Now a comparison between the iPhone's 48 megapixel RAW versus the 200 megapixel. This is at 92% zoom. Definitely much more details than the 48 megapixel RAW of the iPhone. iPhone makes the darker pixel more dark and the lighter pixel more light to create differences, whereas the S24 Ultra keeps the original at 200 megapixel level. That's why it looks a bit softer, but it's actually more original than what you see in the iPhone, which I'm gonna show in a moment once I compare the 50 megapixel and the 200 megapixel to show the details difference. So here, similar to the iPhone, the 50 megapixel, the darker areas are darker, the light areas are lighter. In short, looks more punchy and less soft like the 200 megapixel. But the 200 megapixel, as I explained, it's more original. If you look into the green details, the details of the brick on top of the brick, the details on the snow, they are way superior and original, whereas the 50 megapixel of the S24 Ultra or the RAW or the 24 megapixel of the iPhone, because it's lacking the details, it's compensating by manipulating the pixels, by making the darker pixels more dark and the lighter pixels more light. Take a note of that tiny bolt beside the toy, the small tiny bolt on the brick. I'm gonna pixel peep that to show you guys the difference between the processing, what goes on at pixel level of the 50 megapixel and the 200 megapixel. And here you can see the 200 megapixel, each pixels, they have individual characteristic. It's a way superior system than the 50 megapixel binning mode, and same, it will be even much superior than the iPhone's 48 megapixel or the 24 megapixel when you go at pixel level. So this shows how powerful the 200 megapixel actually is. iPhone's 4K 60 frames per second, a different zoom lens. By the way, if you guys see any type of choppiness, none of them have any choppiness, none of the phones. It could be the software I'm using to edit this. And now 4K 60 frames per second at different zoom lengths on the S24 Ultra, and they're really really good. The best definitely is the 8K, much superior to both the phone's 4K 60 frames. The 8K 30 is much more details, which I have showed you guys in the past. Now is the comparison of the front camera. I find the pictures on the S24 Ultra a bit too soft, whereas the iPhone is a bit too over sharpened. I would like something in the middle, because when you're taking picture of your face, too much sharp or too much soft, both can be a problem. And this trend is actually true on the video as well, on the front cameras. So here is my scoring out of 100. For example, 20% light or less, iPhone rear camera 17 out of 100, front camera 13 out of 100, zoom lenses 10 out of 100. Yeah, the light is too low. It doesn't take that good pictures. Whereas the S24 Ultra rear camera 12 megapixel only 8 out of 100, 50 megapixel 17 out of 100. That was at 20% light level. Lower light level, the iPhone will be a bit better than the S24 Ultra, and 200 megapixel 18 out of 100. That's exactly at 20% light level. Front camera 10 out of 100, less than the iPhone. The front camera, so for my conclusion, the front camera of the S24 Ultra, it's not very high detail. The I think the lens itself is not as good as the iPhone. S24 Ultra used to have the 40 megapixel front camera on S20 and S21, which they took out. I don't know why, but that would be a more superior lens, I believe. So video, similar issue. Nighttime video 20% light or less. Now 30 to 40% light when it's gonna be typical lighting condition when you in your home or in the office or when you go to a store. The scoring is as such as I gave you, and also the S24 Ultra performs a bit better, a slightly bit better than the iPhone when there is sufficient light. In my scoring for daytime, when there is sufficient light level 50 to 60%, that's when the S24 Ultra takes a big leap from the iPhone when it comes to photo as well as video. The 8K is just fantastic. Like if you take a frame out and compare the frame of iPhone's 4K 60 frames, you can clearly see the details difference. It's not small, it's pretty big. And if you are gonna have a 8K system in the future, for sure it's gonna be future proof as well. Now the 4K, a lot of people say the 4K is iPhone is the best and much superior. Well, if you take a frame out from the 4K of the iPhone and you analyze the frame, what you can find is there is a huge manipulation of pixels. It's not real details. So what they're doing is they're making the dark pixel darker and the lighter pixel lighter to create differentiation, same as they do in the photo. And what happens is, because of that, I took out point, because it's not real details. The S24 Ultra on the other hand keeps the originality, but it pushed the video more towards the green side and darker side. So they need to fix that, and iPhone need to make it more real. So none of them are real. They are manipulating the pixels here. The 8K on the other hand keeps originality. Also, it's not dark. It's actually quite real. If you're a S24 user, I would recommend just use the 50 megapixel or the 200 megapixel. The 12 megapixel just is too inferior. So let's say you only take 200 megapixel photos or 50 megapixel. I only take 200 megapixel photos unless I'm scanning documents where I can use the 12 megapixel. I don't need a big picture. So how do you resize picture? Because Facebook or other platform will not let you post a 200 megapixel. It's too big for their platform. So I'll show you right away. You tap on the picture, you click on the edit. On the top, you press the three dots and resize. There you go.